monitor? Now we're
Yeah, see, there we go. Alan
there.
starting to
We
start.
are. There we are. So, good morning, everybody. Happy Easter to everyone. It is Easter morning, around 11:30 here, and I'm here with friends and my personal trainer, Don Benjamin, who has been gracious enough to volunteer his time. I am not on the beach. I wish I was on the beach. And Don is with his young lady in an apartment somewhere between here and Canada. I don't know where you are, but
Top secret.
pardon me?
Top secret.
Top secret location. We are socially isolated. We can't do what we want to do. And Fran and I have both found it very challenging to maintain a fitness routine. We're doing the best we can, but if we're experiencing it, chances are you are too. So Don, why are we have so much free time, and yet Fran and I are going nuts trying to maintain some semblance of routine? What's your perspective on that?
So this free time that we've all been afforded now, it can be both a blessing and a curse. But for reasons other than just fitness, but depending on your situation, this could be, just something you really needed, or this could be something extremely troubling for you. Regardless, when it comes to fitness, it's the same thing. You have a lot more time to work out now, but a lot of people are going to struggle. Especially people like you, people that have this really strict routine of going to the gym certain days every week, certain amount of time every week on a schedule. And suddenly that entire routine has been disrupted. You're no longer equipment, you don't have your wonderful personal trainer, or me in your case.
Or both.
Yeah. You don't have your gym friends. You don't have that sense of home is here, and when I'm at the gym, that means I work out. When you are at the gym, it's a place for a reason. Okay, so you almost get into workout mode when you're in the gym. That's what you're there for, right? That's why home equipment sometimes can not get used for months or years at a time, because home just doesn't seem to be where you work out, especially not when gyms exist and you have a gym membership. Yep. So it can be really tough to work out at home despite all this free time you have. You could just be sitting on your couch thinking, I really should work out for hours. It's a psychological thing.
So, when working with you, and not everybody works with a trainer, and not everybody needs to or wants to work with a trainer, but when I do even a virtual class, you're looking at me. So if I don't want to finish a set, I don't finish a set, and you don't yell at me, but you push me to go way beyond what I think I can do. And right. That's a limitation. But on the other hand, we don't want to be sitting around doing nothing, because lack of exercise will weaken our immune system and lower our resistance to COVID, God forbid, or to anything else that might come at us after we're through this COVID thing. So some exercise, doing the best you can in the circumstances you have, is really an awful lot. It's not even, wouldn't even call it better than nothing, Don. I would call it something significant.
Oh, absolutely. And, we think we do a lot of sitting around at work, but, it's really easy to fall into that trap of, sitting down to watch the news or whatever. Maybe you want to binge watch something on Netflix. You look at your watch and it's dinner time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have not only have you been sitting, but you haven't even moved. So it can be really sippy, especially you don't have anywhere to be. There's nowhere to be. So it can be even worse than your daily routine at work. We don't realize just how much we move during the day when we have to.
Yeah, and one of the things that I teach and preach and try to live without judgment of anybody, please don't, we're all presenting the best versions of ourselves every single day. And if we're just a little bit better tomorrow than we are today, then we're doing awesome. But sitting is the new smoking. And it's been shown that people who sit a lot are much more prone to some very serious illness. So even if it's just for a little while, in limited circumstances, like your apartment or my basement or my neighborhood, rather than a gym, with our friends, with our trainers, with the fast music blasting, with the classes going, with other people pushing us, we got to do something to stay in the game. And that's all I'm trying to do. Somebody's coming to join us. Oh man, this is good. Let's see who's here.
Andy.
If you could hit video, it would be great to see you. If not, please just join us. Okay. Fran is taking my car.
Hi, Fran.
Andy is connecting to audio. So what we're trying to do here is just help everybody stay in the game a little bit. And Don, just show us, can you begin to show us, or give us fundamentals first, and maybe you could demonstrate a few things for us that anybody can do. And by the way, before we start, and I'll say this at the end too, before you start any fitness program, you need to speak to your doctor, especially if you haven't exercised in a while, or if you have any kind of condition, then please, please, please consult your personal physician before you do any of this stuff. Don, talk to us a little bit about basics. What are the basic body parts or basic things we need to do and enforce in order to just do something and stay in the game here?
Well, the number one thing, even aside from body parts, is movement. Like you said, sitting is the new smoking. We all know how being sedentary can be extremely detrimental to our health. So the most important thing, if nothing else, just try to stay as active as possible. Try to move around as much as you can. The how matters less than just doing it in general, okay? But let's say you can be as active as possible.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Let's say you can be totally fine. You can move around. Great. All right. So you may want to say, I have the ability to move around. Obviously now we have the time. But I just don't know what to do. And, some people have that kind of hesitation. You don't know what to do, so it makes it more difficult to do it. So like you said, there are basics that we can do just to give you guys some guidelines. And a lot of it you may recognize. But again, just want to stress that if nothing else, if you get lost, if you forget any of this, not only can you go back and watch, but just stay active. Pace around your apartment if that's all you can do. Although barefoot if you can. You don't want to disturb your neighbors. If you're gonna follow some sort of regimen, if that's gonna make things easier for you, then you want to try to get as much of your body as possible, right? There are going to be some things that are a little bit more difficult to train than others when you're not in a gym, and especially if you don't have any weights at all. Although I'm going to show you guys that you don't really need dumbbells or weights, traditional weights, in order to really work out. So you know what? Let me set this up. I'm going to show you guys some.
Let me just show while you're setting up. Andy, can you hear us? And
well, we can hear him, so
we can hear you. If you have any questions, we can't see you. If that's by choice, that's awesome.
Alan, hello.
Hey,
Alan, hi. I can hear you.
Oh, it's Andy Samuel.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, can you enable your camera?
I can. Let me just give me a moment. Give me a moment, sir.
All right, come on, get with the program here.
I'm live with Alistair. There I am.
Hey, there he is. Now we know who the secret Andy is,
How are
Don. We're good.
Andy, we miss you.
Hi, Don. When I heard Don was on the show, I had to tune in. I haven't gotten my Don fix in a while.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Wait till you see what I have tomorrow.
Well, it's not me, but
It's not,
yeah,
no.
so definitely tune
Something
in.
totally. We'll chat about that when we stop recording. But Don, show us some basic fundamentals.
All right, so what I want to show you guys is, again, basic fundamentals, but if there's something you don't understand or something you're not feeling really confident about, or you really just feel it's just not for you, whether you have some sort of health issue or an injury or something like that, that's totally okay. Just remember, you do whatever you can do in order to stay active. Just want to make sure that's the number one thing we have here. But for anybody that wants to.
If in doubt, keep the recording, consult your physician, and then come back to this.
Exactly. Yes.
Very important.
Make sure that anything that we are going to do, one, you can do, two, you feel at least moderately comfortable doing, and three, you know what you're doing, which is going to be us showing you in this recording. So anyway, one of the most basic things that we can do is called squat, right? I'm sure we've all heard of that. I'm going to show you the proper form and making sure that you guys are understanding how this works and why it works, okay?
Let me see if I can follow you. So if you see me doing something that may be wrong, which you no, I can only see the upper part of me, so that's not good.
Yeah, and why don't I demonstrate it first, because I can't really see you so well.
Okay.
My video on first.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so usually have my feet about shoulder width. You can go a little wider, a little bit more narrow. Okay. And your toes tend to be pointed either straight or at a slight angle. That's going to depend on how your hips are. It's not going to be the same for everybody. Okay. What I want to do is I want to take my hips and I want to push them backwards. Okay. When I do that, I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to keep my weight in my heels. Come down, so I'm pushing my hips back behind me. I'm keeping my back straight. I'm pressing down into the floor through my heels and standing back up. So from the side, it's going to look like this. And you'll see that my hips move before my knees do.
Yeah.
Down and back up. As for your hands or your arms, you can put them anywhere as long as you're not putting them on your thighs here. You put them on your hips, you put them out in front, you can put them by your chest, wherever you feel most comfortable. Down and up. Okay?
And Don, let me point out a couple of things that you had to teach me, because it took me a while to get this technique right. If you notice, Don's back was very straight, and his back and his neck were in alignment, and most of the movement was with his rear end. There was no bending of the back, it was straight, and most of the work is done by the hips, and most of the up push has got to be through the heels.
Exactly. Now, there are a couple of things you can do if, like a year ago, Alan, you're having a little trouble with the back, or maybe you have some knee issues or something. So there are two things I want to show you to make this a little bit easier. One, you can take a chair, and you can start just by sitting down, and then put your feet right underneath your knees. Then all you're going to do is stand up from here. And what you want to do when you do this chair squat is think about pushing your butt as far back into the chair as possible. So we don't want to be here because our knees are too far forward. Instead, you want to try to be here, all the way back, okay? The other thing you can do is if you have a wall here, put your back against the wall, put your feet out in front, and just slide down until your thighs are parallel to the floor. And you keep your head and your hips against the wall. Try to push your back into the wall. Okay? So, could you guys hear me okay?
Yep. Yeah, a little echo, but that wall sit is the first tough exercise as a kid. It's really good. The first 10 seconds are very, very easy. But then as time goes on, you really start to feel it. And the trick is to maintain your form. Don has taught me that form is much more important than anything else. And if you do it right, you could really gain some strength over time, and you make progress. So body, the squat, making sure you push through the heels. I think that's very important. Back straight at all times. And the wall sit also, just make sure you're at right angles. And if you're not perfect, that's okay. You'll do it better next time.
Exactly. If you can't go down all the way, that's fine. You go as far as you can, as hard as you can, right? You maybe have a little bit less, instead of a 90-degree angle, you have your feet out a little bit further. Maybe your butt's up a little bit higher, but you go down as far as you can, and you start to feel the burning in your thighs and quads. And you do the best you can. And once you're done, you did something you weren't doing before.
Yep.
And like you said, as long as we can get a little bit better than yesterday, we keep doing that. Just a little bit, but we do a little bit of work every day to make ourselves a little bit better than the day before.
But again, if you're feeling any kind of pain during this, we stop.
Should not have any pain.
No.
You may feel your muscles burning a little bit. You might start to feel a little fatigue, but pain is not something you should be feeling.
And if in doubt, if you can't discern between pain and burn, stop and talk to your physician. Very important.
Exactly.
All right, so that's lower body. Right.
Great lower body workout. So what I was alluding to before, where it's sometimes harder to work some body parts than others, especially during a quarantine. Your back and bicep muscles, which are your pulling muscles in your upper body, are a lot harder to work than your triceps and chest muscles, because those you're pushing. Yeah. So it's really easy to push your body weight, but if you don't have a pull-up bar or something along those lines, it makes it a lot harder to pull your body weight because you have nothing to pull against. If you're pulling your body weight, it means you have to be working against gravity. It's really easy to push against gravity. For example, a push-up.
Yep.
But to pull against gravity means we have to lift something up. And since we're only using our body weight here, it means we have to pull our body weight up, which means a pull-up bar. Well, let's say you don't have a pull-up bar. Well, you probably have either a shopping bag, you probably have a backpack, you probably have maybe a water jug. There are a lot of things that you can use as weights instead of dumbbells. You don't have those. Just around your house. Okay? There are ways you can get creative.
Can I show something that I have that I'm just going to start with? Inspired by your partner in crime, Vin. I have this. I have a travel bag.
Nice.
That I filled with water bottles. And
that's great.
I can do.
There you go. Exactly.
It's a little awkward. But Don, can I pretend to be a trainer for a second?
Go ahead, please.
And just correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm standing with my feet about shoulder width.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying not to move my body and just to move my arms, bend my arms up and down.
Exactly. Yeah, for what we're doing here, it looks good.
Train me
And
right.
the important thing here, and it can be a little tough because of the fact that it's, you know, it's a little awkward. You know, the straps make your hands want to come together. So what you can do with that, if you want to make it, you know, really, really tough, take out a few water bottles, but only do one arm at a time. And that way you'd be here, and when you come up, your elbow wouldn't be moving at all. So at the top, you don't have to bring your elbow out here. You want to try to keep it here, your shoulder back, okay? Your core tight, all the way down, all the way up. Good.
Yeah, and Don has taught me not to do this and not to do this.
Exactly.
My big problem as a dentist is that we tend to work like this. So we're making a tremendous effort to keep our shoulders down, and it's not easy. And just try to work the arm. And you could do it, you know, for those who don't have training, take a water bottle. Just take a Poland Spring bottle. I took a Scotch bottle the other day and just lifted up a Scotch bottle.
Yeah, and it's funny, it probably seemed lighter every time you put it down.
No, not for me. It's Passover. No Scotch on Passover.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, I've been trying to make wine cocktails.
Creative things with limited resources. Exactly what we're doing here.
Necessity is the mother of invention. Oh,
Yep.
So one thing about using your own homemade weights, for lack of a better word, one of the reasons I like doing one arm at a time is because it means that no matter what, it doesn't matter how much weight is in that bag, but it means that it's going to be exactly the same amount of weight for both arms, okay? We want to try to keep it as symmetrical and as even as possible.
Yes.
So you may have, you know, some water bottles or something, and maybe you have two bags, but like two duffel bags or something. Maybe one bag is heavier than the other. One's easier to hold than the other one. You only have a certain amount of Poland Spring, and then you put in the other one, you put Evian or something. And Evian uses thicker plastic. You know, whatever the case is, you want to try to be even. So for what we're doing here, it seems to me that doing things one arm at a time, you know, while it may not be as time efficient,
Yeah.
One, we have nothing but time these days, and two, it can, like you said, you saw how it was a little awkward to do that with two hands. I think it's safer, and in the end, it works better to go single arm at a time when possible.
Yep.
Okay. So those bicep curls, you know how we said that's good for the biceps, obviously. You know, that's one of your pulling muscles, but the main pulling muscle is going to be, or the stronger pulling muscle, I should say, is going to be in your back, your lats. A good one that you can do, and if you give me 1 second, I'm going to grab a duffel bag of my own.
Mhm.
1 second.
I hope you're getting something out of this, that anyone can do it, and you don't have to lift heavy. You don't have to have a lot of time. What's been very helpful for me and for Fran is that we've blocked time, and for the most part, we're able to do that. And
So we got our
I'm just
Brandon.
I'm talking about blocking time, Don, that we don't have to work or you know, our structure's falling apart. If you can block 9 to 9:30 in the morning to do some fitness before you go on to binge watching or reading or chatting, pick a half hour, block it out, and you can do that.
And this is for normal people that, you know, have free time, not people like Alan Stern who are still incredibly busy.
I'm not normal, not by any means.
Okay, guys, so one thing we can do to strengthen the lats. So what I've got here is I got a duffel bag. This is great because it's meant to be held in one hand, okay? So I've got my weights, and by the way, a tip for when you're doing things like this with a duffel bag or a backpack. If you've got some heavy stuff like some water bottles or things like that, what I like to do is I put a layer of clothes on the bottom. I put my weighted stuff down, and then I stuff the rest of it with clothes. And the reason I do that is because that way the weights won't shift around and make it awkward and weird when I do this. So, you know, you put the weighted material, whatever it is, maybe you have a bag of rice, maybe you have some cans or something, whatever it is, you put in there, and then you stuff it full of clothes to make sure it doesn't move around, okay? So, I've got a chair, which I hope you all have at home. I'm gonna put my one hand on the chair. That same foot, I'm gonna put forward, okay? We'll put the other foot back. And this arm, gonna be here. My shoulders are gonna be square. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push my hips back, okay? So it's almost like I'm trying to get my chest facing the floor, okay? And what I'm gonna do is just hold this up. I'm bringing my elbow back. So important here, no curve in the back, we don't wanna be here. We wanna be trying to bring the chest as close to parallel to the floor as we can. If we're here, yeah, this might be difficult, but it's really more of a shoulder workout and not a knee. Right here, and we're pulling up. Now, if you've got something with long straps, something like this, you may be here, you're like, well, this doesn't really work so well. You may have to, if you want, you can even something to raise yourself up, a step stool. Maybe you have some old textbooks that your university charged you way too much for. Some of this stuff you're gonna have to get creative on your own for. You know, if you're gonna get creative like that, great. But please remember that your safety comes first, okay? There's no exercise that is so great that you need to put yourself in a precarious position in order to complete it. I wanna put that out there. I wanna make sure everybody knows that while we're doing this to stay healthy, your immediate safety is the #1 most important thing.
Yeah, especially for people with shoulder injuries and knee injuries like me, or for back issues like me, you really want to be careful. You consult your doctor or your physical therapist, chiropractor, or if you do have a trainer, you may want to get in touch with your trainer. Hint, hint, trainers don't have very much to do these days, and they may have some spare time in order to show you a thing or two. So you may want to ask a professional if there's any doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, about personal trainers, a lot of us are not getting a lot of work either. So if you want to do some virtual coaching, just saying.
You throwing a hint at me?
No, you're too busy.
You know what? That might be a good idea. We'll talk about that. I'm on virtual also. Most of us are on virtual income. But,
yeah. Unless you're an essential employee, especially healthcare workers, sanitation workers, and by the way, if you are, I want to give you a big thanks for doing hard work when the rest of us are lounging at home.
Those physicians and nurses and the aides and all the workers in the hospitals, man, they are the soldiers on the front line. And National Guard is out. I know a lot of National Guard guys. And of course, the food service workers, police, firemen, the first responders, EMS. Wow. Just
the people that make our world keep going.
Yeah.
You know, well, everything else is stopped. You know,
and
there are certain things that we just can't do without. And those are the people that really help us to not only not go crazy, but, keep us safe and healthy.
And dentistry will be back. We are, Dr. Andy Samuel is with us incognito, one of my favorite periodontists, and we are working diligently to create plans of action that will make our offices extremely safe, even safer than they were before this stuff happened. So anybody in my community and in Dr. Samuel's community, you've got nothing to worry about, because we are on this, and we are on this. We're keeping current, we're watching current trends and thinking, and when our doors open, they'll open as soon as possible, but when and only when we know that everybody involved in our office is safe. There you are. You piping in to agree with that?
Absolutely. I know what we are, following all of the recommendations that are coming out of the CDC. The American Dental Association has really been working very, very hard to try to make heads or tails of this and give us a blueprint for how our offices are going to be very safe when we get back into this. So I think the public should have very, great confidence in their dentists and physicians, knowing that they're going to follow everything to keep everybody safe and healthy and be able to deliver the care that everybody really needs.
Yeah, and we will be addressing this on this page as time goes on, as we get closer to getting back to our normal selves. So, Don, you want to show us my favorite stuff, push-ups and planks, to get that upper body.
Yes, I was wondering when we were going to get into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so push-ups and planks are both two very seemingly simple exercises, and I guess they are simple, but they're easy to mess up. Okay, there are a couple, and especially because they seem so simple, a lot of people, you'll go to the gym and see people just banging out push-ups all the time. Most of the people that do that are doing them wrong. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do push-ups, and I'm hopefully going to be able to teach you guys a thing or two about the proper form. Okay, so I'm going to start off with just a regular standard push-up. Okay.
I would tell you Don's back and his head, and his shoulders and his rear end.
So right now you can see that my shoulders are lined up pretty much over my wrist. We have to remember that a push-up, the number one thing is push, right? Just like you push anything else away, you're basically pushing yourself away from the floor. Your body doesn't know this. Your body thinks you're just pushing the ground away from you. So anytime we go to push something in real life, we're coming here and we're pushing it away, right? That same form applies to when we do a push-up. So we're going to be here, hands on the floor, and sometimes I like to start at the bottom, and that's how I can position my hands. So right now I know, okay, right here, this is how I push something away from myself. Okay, I'm going to tuck my toes underneath, and I'm going to keep my core tight, because if I don't keep my core tight, then I do something like this. Okay, if I keep my core tight, my entire body stays as one unit. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze my glutes, my butt, I'm going to squeeze my quads, my thighs, and I'm going to squeeze my core. And that way, when I push away from the floor, everything comes up as one. Okay? You're going to see that my elbows come at about 45-degree angle, 30-degree angle. Down, everything's close to the floor, and push. Okay? Like Alan said, the back stays straight. There's no tightening up of the hips, and there's no sagging of the hips. Okay? Now, that's difficult. Okay? The push-up is a tough exercise. So, we can do the same thing, except instead of tucking the toes under, we can keep the knees down and do everything exactly the same, but instead of from the toes, from the knees. Same thing applies to them. No curvature, no sagging, right? Everything's staying nice and straight. You're still keeping your core tight. Now, if even that is a little bit difficult, you may want to
Not
use
easy. If
a
you think
chair,
things are easy, you got nothing coming to you.
a counter, or something. So put your hands on the sides here, and you push like that. Or you could get on your knees. Do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could even use a wall. You're here, and I'm sorry, it's not the best view.
Yep, and you could change your angle to make it easier or harder.
Exactly. The higher up that your chest is off the floor, the easier it's going to be. So, obviously, against the wall, you're almost standing upright. That's going to be the easiest. The floor is going to be the hardest because your chest is almost parallel to the floor, right? Almost forgot the plank. So, there are two main ways to do a plank. One is called a high plank, which is basically same position as a push-up. Here, okay? And everything still applies back straight. You want to think about making a straight line from your shoulders to your hips, to your knees, to your toes, right? The other way to do it, same exact principle, except you're going to be on your elbows instead of your hands, okay? Your shoulders are still lined up directly over your elbows. And it's important to remember, keep your core braced. Think about as if someone were about to punch you in the gut. Keep that tight. Now,
Probably the
I
most.
challenge you to try to beat Dr. Alan Stern's record of, what did you do, 12 minutes?
10:23.
Yeah.
10 minutes and 23 seconds.
So he held that position for 12 minutes and 23 seconds.
10.
And I know because I was there and I watched him and timed him.
Yep. I think,
and it was all in good form too.
let me just throw a couple of things from my perspective as somebody who is not a athlete or a Spartan Challenge competitor. I think when you're doing push-ups, if you're doing push-ups, there are some people like me whose shoulders are compromised, and I cannot go all the way down to the floor because I have 2 torn rotator cuffs, and that would be catastrophic. So if you do have rotator cuff issues or shoulder pain or any doubt about your shoulders, just take it down as far as your shoulders allow you to.
Exactly. You know your body best of everybody. Okay.
Yeah, don't push that
In
envelope.
a time like this where we don't have immediate feedback from a professional, you don't have a trainer right there or a physical therapist telling you exactly what your limitations are on every particular exercise, you have to use your best judgment. And like I said, there's no exercise that's so good that you have to put your immediate health and honestly long-term health as well at risk in order to complete it. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that you do is going to be better than nothing. So if you can only do half of a push-up, that's better than trying to do a full push-up at the expense of your shoulder health.
Yep. Yep. And all of these things, these are fundamentals just to keep your muscles toned until we can get back in whatever game we're in. And I think the other component that you touched on, Don, was moving, walking, running if you can.
Movement, any sort of movement.
Any movement. Get that.
Up and down stairs.
Yep. Stairs are an enormous exercise if you can do it. So just move. And the simple guideline, I think, Don, correct me if I'm wrong, 150 minutes a week, is that?
If you can do that, absolutely, yes. Yeah. Listen, the more you can do, the better. That being said, listen to your body. If you do a great workout, you do some walking, you do your push-ups, you do your squats on Monday, and Tuesday or Wednesday morning you wake up and you feel like you got hit by a truck, take it easy. Take it easy. If you still want to move, you can move. Please, movement is actually good for some soreness. It's good for recovery, but you got to keep it light. If you are feeling hurt, if you're feeling fatigued, keep it light, and keep that movement on more maybe like a flexibility focus. Where you maybe just do a lot of stretching. And by the way, stretching is extremely important. You want to keep yourself. If you're getting strong, it means nothing if you can't move. So that's what's gonna not only help you use the strength and endurance that you are building in your muscles, but it's also gonna keep away those aches and pains. It's just a lot of low back pain. It can be due to weakness, but can also be due to lack of flexibility. So you want to keep that in mind. I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but this is all very important stuff.
Yeah, and we know somebody who has flexibility issues, don't we?
Besides me? Yeah, you.
Yeah. And I really, I truly, as much as I hate it, I can't wait to get back there and have you push, bend, and contort me in ways that are going to liberate me.
Right.
In the coming years, I think that's real important. Don, this has been awesome. I hope this is going to help somebody. Remember, again, can't overemphasize, consult your doctor before beginning any program. If you're moving, if you're in cardiac rehab or cardiac compromise, definitely talk to your doctor. And if any of these movements hurt you, or cease and desist immediately and consult a professional. But there's tools that you can modify for yourself. And the important thing is just stay in the game, move. Don't let your body deteriorate, and keep your morale up. We'll talk a lot about that also. We'll talk about staying happy and staying unstressed and undepressed. Don,
you're gonna feel, when you start, you're gonna feel a shift in how you feel and think mentally, emotionally. It's gonna. I mean, I've been doing about one virtual class a week, and before the class, sometimes it'll be a day after or after a full day of just not really doing very much, not moving very much, and you kind of feel sluggish. And afterwards, it's like a light switch goes off. I'm telling you. Yep. You'll feel the difference. You start doing this, it's going to change the way you look at things.
Don, Fran and I have been through a lot of trainers in our journey of fitness. You've changed our life so profoundly, and I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for you. And that's really—
listen. As much as I've changed your lives, you guys have helped me and changed mine as well. You guys are like aunt and uncle, Dr. Stearns. So
not little brother and little sister anymore, huh?
Well, maybe older cousin.
Don, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to speak to you a little bit more about this?
So I'll be honest. Before this whole quarantine thing, I was not very big on social media, but I guess, like I said before, necessity is the mother of invention, and I guess the mother of social media as well. So if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at my Instagram page, which is @thefitnessdon. It's all one word. Or on Facebook. I'm part of the Better, Richer, Stronger group, and I'm Alan Stern's friend list. I know I feel like a VIP. But it's just Donald Benjamin on Facebook. And I think if there's any other way for you guys to reach out to me, I'm pretty sure that's it. I think I'm also going to send you a link to my Dropbox. And I've been posting, I do classes for Soul Focus and for a couple of other Jewish community centers online. So I've been recording as many of those as I can, and I'm going to send you a link to those so anybody can get to them as much, and they can use whatever they want.
That's fantastic. That would be a tremendous resource for you. And please, I just want to invite you to invite your friends to Alan G. Stern, DDS. This is my dental practice page, and we are all about health and wellness. There is and will be more, tons of information for you on staying healthy. We'll have a lot to talk about this week and in the coming weeks. Don, I cannot thank you enough. Dr. Andy Samuel, thank you for joining us today. And let's get together in the best of health when this nonsense is over.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to working with you guys again.
Thanks, Don. I'll stop the recording. Stay with me for a moment.